ioEther, and we're back with some more world tanks. So as you can see, this is MrSkillerPro in the E25, and this is the second replay I've ever seen of his. So that should be fun. This is of course a tier 8 game on Sand River. It's also a assault game, which we're defending! Honestly, one of my most hated roles in the game is defending on Sand River and a few other ones from assaults. But we're gonna watch how MrSkillerPro does it, who apparently still has these turned on, and maybe in the comments he can tell me why. I feel like they kill my win ratio every single time, but it's not the point. If you guys want to get in contact with me, my Facebook, Duckster, and Twitter accounts are all in the description below. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do so is donating to my Patreon account, which also is in the description below. Something as small as like $1 a month actually does help me out quite a bit. And one last thing before we get into any of this, I can't remember what it is, so it can't be important, right? Ooh, look at that, a T-34 in the open. Now, he is practicing fire discipline. He is not shooting at targets he really could be. He has 3 artillery on his team, so there's no point in him exposing his position when he's actually getting a lot of lights right now. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any tanks in the area to do anything about these lights, so we're going to have to rely on artillery. But shots are now starting to come in, and now it's getting too hot. Now, I'm actually kind of surprised that he didn't fire before he moved. I think I would have tried to take a pot shot. Just, you know, even something as small as like 125 extra damage would have been really nice, but oh well. Nope. As it turns out, our IS-3 has decided to charge the enemy, and he's done. He's dead. Yeah. If he doesn't die in the next 2 minutes, I'll be insanely surprised, and I will. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll figure something fun out to do, because he is on the wrong side of the divide. He's on the wrong side of cover, and he's just gonna get hit from every side. Not to mention artillery, which is probably also raining down on him. However, our ELC at the back there just managed to find their artillery, 2 of the 3 pieces. So there's probably another artillery piece around here somewhere, because that's a good place for artillery to be hiding. So now the ELC is going to, apparently he's going to die to an Su-14-2. Okay, so an ELC should be able to murder any kind of artillery very, very easily. If you're in a scout tank like that and you're dying to artillery, you're doing it wrong. Stop it. Okay, so MrSkillerPro has still not fired a single shot. He has in fact been maneuvering around trying to find the right position, and he's finally found it. Side of a KV-3 turret, and he's just going to start letting rip with his gun. Thankfully though, artillery comes in exactly the right time, saves him from potentially, doubt the KV-3 would have hit him, but it would have been annoying if he had to run away all of a sudden. Now, he's shooting top down onto a T-29, which gives him a really great chance to hit the enemy cupola if he wants to. I understand he doesn't really want to, because it is definitely a hard target to hit. Oh, there we go. Artillery again has made his life a little bit easier. So now there's only a T-34 over there and a T-29 attempting to circle behind him. That shot was a little bit close. Probably closer than I would have liked if I was in his situation. Beautiful shot into the front of this T-29, keeping him tracked there until artillery could murder him. Just absolutely drop a shell straight into the back end of him. Boom. Dead T-29. Okay, and now he's not even losing a beat. Notice how he doesn't not backing off. He's not like trying to be overly aggressive. He knows where his position is. His position is to try and hold this Arties, if one of you guys hits us in the back, I will not be happy. Sorry. Ooh. So the artilleries are doing a great job, and apparently the Low forgot to bring his fire extinguisher. By the looks of it, he is in fact going to burn to death. For the last time, bring a fire extinguisher. Always. I don't care what your excuse is. Unless, of course, you have a premium consumable in its stead, like chocolate or whatever. Maybe I'll let you get away with not bringing a fire extinguisher, but 9 times out of 10, a fire extinguisher does a lot more than a bit of chocolate does, or whatever. But yeah, to each their own. If you want to burn all by yourself in a field, then that's up to you. Now, it hasn't really looked like MrSkillerPro has done a whole lot, because I guess he hasn't really. But our team is rolling them so hard that at this point we can take the... Wait, how did you hit that shot? I'm wondering if the lag is in the replay or was actually in the game, because it didn't look like he had the gun depression to hit that shot, but in fact he did. And this is... Okay, except for that ramp. This is how you do it as a scout tank killing RT. Don't ram an artillery ever as a small scout tank. It will never end well for you. However, by running around it, you can actually juke it and get past it. If you can do that, you can kill him every single time. Now, he's going to try and juke around in front of this guy. Yep. Because he knows that the Su-14 2 is going to have the hardest time trying to turn his tank and fire at the same time. So, what he does is he actually... picks up as much speed as he can and then tries to head straight across it. Pause it here. So that as the Su-14 is trying to turn, he's throwing off his aim as much as possible. Beautiful demonstration of how you take out artilleries in scout tanks. And this was just unfortunate on the ELC's part. I don't know what he expected to do, but he wasn't going to do anything by ramming an E-25. Now, if the ELC hasn't figured it out, there isn't anything later in this game above Tier 5 than he is. Don't ram things in any scout tank. I don't know how I was going to say painful. It's not the right word. How heavy the E-25 is. And I'm going to guess somebody's going to tell me in the comments. But I know it's heavier than an ELC, so this was always a bad idea for the ELC. But all in all, this was a great game. I especially love this bit at the end, with taking out the artillery. That was golden. I love being in that situation from either the scout perspective or the artillery's perspective, because shotgunning people is amazingly fun. Almost 3,000 experience without premium, without a daily double. That's a little bit suspect. I'm going to guess there's a mission reward in there somewhere. Probably a ×2 mission reward that gave him that 3,000 experience. But still an amazing game. Obviously earning him his ace tanker, Top Gun, which was kind of surprising there, because this was snatched away at the very end after he had done so much crippling damage to the enemy. He managed to secure that Top Gun for himself. And of course the high caliber. This again was kind of sneakily gotten, because it didn't look like he was doing the most amount of damage on his team halfway through that game. And then all of a sudden, he rushed out there into the open fields of the top of those dunes and just started murdering tank after tank after tank, earning himself 3,000 damage and the 6 kills. Now that is much better than anyone else, but the next to MrSkillerPro, the other stars of this are the artillery. 1,300 damage, 1,500 damage, 1,000 damage. compared to the enemy artillery. 1,000 damage. Wow, okay, so artillery had a great amount of influence over this entire game. Though our artillery, like, doubled their artillery's damage. But it was still a very heavily influenced battle by artillery. And that's the kind of battle I like to see. Because it definitely keeps you on the move. That explosion almost took out MrSkillerPro about halfway through. If he had been stationary, he'd been dead. But because he was moving, the artillery missed, though not by much. And it made for a great drama effect. If it didn't actually do anything to the tank. Yes, 3,000 damage with this little 150 average damage gun is pretty impressive. But he also did this. 1,500 due to player assistance, which is most of the time for the artillery that he brought to bear. By either tracking things or just plain lighting them and letting the artillery just dominate from the sky. This seems a little bit suspect. Considering the fact that he fired 19 shots, I'm gonna guess he actually had an ammo repair cost, resupply cost, but of course, he probably bought a whole bunch of shells when they were on sale or something, and so now he just gets straight money. Yes, ooh, look at that. That was a mission reward that doubled his total. That was pretty awesome nonetheless. Thank you so much, MrSkillerPro, for sending this in. This was an awesome video. If you guys like it, please hit the like button. That really does help me out. That's what I forgot to say in the beginning, by the way. That was an awesome game. Thank you all for watching. Have a great night. This is ioEther out. Hey folks, this is ioEther, and we're back with some more world tanks. Side scraping. How to counter a player who's side scraping. So the E100 is trying to side scrape. And you can see, let's see where. Ronick is actually firing at the engine deck of the enemy tank. And, well, that makes sense, because Ronick's gun is actually higher up than the enemy tank's engine deck, so he can aim down. And if he concentrates right, and if he, T-57, really? How did you miss that shot on the T-57? Really? That was like a free shot. So the enemy A100 is getting really pissed that Ronick can somehow penetrate him without being, without exposing enough of his tank so that this guy can kill Ronick. So Ronick's, again, gonna shoot for the engine deck.